Farris, can you give us a moment and tell us about the experience of coaching alongside your son? I presume you're watching him develop some pretty interesting skills, right?
So I got to tell you, I have coached. Well, you raise your son. That's one thing, but I've coached him for about 7 years. He's a phenomenal player, and he was a good captain of his team. And there was so much we did together, so much we connected there. But when, like this last 2 months, coaching with him is probably been the single most enjoyable, gratifying, and significant event that we've had as a father son. And the fact, and I've told all these young ROTC kids, and again, I got 3 Army ROTC kids. I said, guys, we're going to treat this like a leadership laboratory. Mm-hmm. Like, I am going to give you lesson plans. You're going to transmit those to these young kids, and then after practice, we're going to sit around and we're going to beat this up and tear this apart. And our car rides home and sitting back at the house, because are just really deep discussions about leadership. What do you do with that young girl that wants to be part of this team, and she doesn't want to get in and make a tackle? And I had to tell them, hey, it's okay. We're you're making incremental progress, and we'll get there. So little things like that are just great leadership examples.
I believe that sports athletics, assuming that you have a good coach, 80% of the coaches that are high school, college, and pro, I wouldn't want my child to be under, because they're teaching them negative stuff, right? But if you have a good coach, I believe that sports is an opportunity to teach life lessons in a safe environment under the roof, right? There are examples that you can't. So, for example, the kid gets cut from a basketball team. That's a teaching moment. Okay, you got cut. Coach doesn't like me. Okay, how are we gonna deal with this? So you take those life lessons, and it's always a teaching moment. That's the only place that I know of that you can really teach skills, unless they're working or something like that. But you can start it at a very young age, just like my coach said. And what I told my kids when they started a sport, you start it, you're gonna finish it. But I just wanted to say that, Jason.
Yeah, you're reminding me of the name Dan Lyons. Dan was I forget his Naval Academy class. I want to say he was 80, maybe 80 or 81, something like that. But he was when I was at Navy, which was between 91 and 95. He was the assistant crew coach at Navy, and he was also on several national champion rowing teams, and actually wound up going to the Olympics, I think, in Seoul to row. But so Dan was the guest speaker a few weeks ago, and he's Ring Knocker sponsor now. He was a guest speaker a few weeks ago, and he told the story of his crew, his boat crew, rising from really an underdog state to go to, I think it was the Worlds at that point. And the key element that differentiated that crew from the other significant crews in that particular cohort was the coach, right? And he talked at length about how positive and how uplifting his experience was with that coach. I mean, just Lyons. If you search Dan Lyons on on our website, go back, take a look at that video. Like just incredibly inspiring story, and really all about exactly what you said, right? The distinction between coaches you want your kid to have versus ones you might not.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of coaches that think they're acting like Vince Lombardi or somebody else, and they did a lot of yelling, but they taught also. They taught and they loved their players. They took care of their players,
You can yell.
So now you have coaches that take a piece of that, the yelling and the screaming, but there's no teaching and there's no loving.